What's going on YouTube? Rackz here, back with another video. Today I'll be breaking down and give you guys my quick prediction on David Morrell versus David Benavidez. Now, David Morrell versus David Benavidez takes place this weekend, February 1st, at the T-Mobile Arena, in Las Vegas, Nevada. And this is going to be a great fight, you know what I mean? Honestly, me personally, I felt that this fight came relatively quick, you know what I mean? Because I remember when it was first announced, November? And I was like, dang, man, that's going to be a far away. And boop, here we are, like 3 months later, and hey, it's almost fight night, you know what I mean? So that's always a good thing, you know what I mean, when it comes to these fights, you know? Another thing that's a good thing, the undercard to this bout, they have Stephen Fulton facing Brandon Figueroa for the second time, you know what I mean? I will be giving my thoughts in my prediction / preview on that later on in the week, but let's start off with the main event, you know what I mean? Now, David Morrell, 11-0 Cuban boxer out of, or is he 11-0 or 12-0? Let me check. 11-0 Cuban boxer, you know what I mean, out of Minneapolis, Minnesota, you know what I mean? He trains with Ronnie Shields, you know, and for the most part, man, I think David Morrell is a great boxer, you know what I mean? He can box, he can punch, and honestly, when you have those two traits, bro, that really makes it very hard for opponents, you know what I mean, to really mess with you, you know what I mean? Like, the dude can outbox you, he can punch and knock you out, you know, so he knows when to do whichever. Now, this fight is made at 175 pounds. Now, the problem with that is that David Morrell and David Benavidez, they both debuted at 175 for the first time in their last fight. Now, what does this mean? This means that this fight was, in my opinion, a high knockout chance type of fight. It went from that to being more so like a I'm favoring a decision in this fight, you know what I mean? Now, I'm sure the decision still probably, it may be plus money if you look at the betting odds, you know what I mean? But for me, I'm seeing this more so as a decision fight. Why do I say that? I say that because David Morrell, in his last fight, he faced a Polish dude that was a former champion, and he went the full 12 with him, you know what I mean? He even lost a few rounds against him, you know what I mean? You know, and he wasn't even able to knock the dude down once. And in David Benavidez, his first fight at 175, he fought a former champion similar to David Morrell's first opponent at 175. And David Benavidez, you know, like I said, David Benavidez is known for his knockouts more so his boxing. He's not really known for boxing at all. So, for Benavidez to go up there and not knock his opponent out, you know, that said a lot about the weight to me. You know what I mean? The weight may be too big, you know. I seen people on Twitter saying, okay, David Benavidez may not be able to bully fighters as he was once used to at 168 pounds with the move up to 175. You know what I mean? Now, I'm not going to lie. I remember the Benavidez fight, and I remember watching it like, is the other dude going to do something? You know what I mean? It looked like he kind of just came and shelled up for most of the fight. That's what it looked like he was doing, you know what I mean? It didn't look like he was doing too much, you know? So for him, you know what I mean? That fight was it was kind of boring, you know. We were just all like waiting for the knockout to happen, but it never happened. The dude just kept absorbing shots, bro, and he like Morrell, David Benavidez wasn't able to knock down his opponent. So with all that being said, you know, as I said, you know, it's a fight at 175 pounds. The winner of this fight is expected to fight the winner of Beterbiev versus Bivol-2, which is happening in a few weeks after that fight, you know. I think that my personal slight edge goes to David Morrell because of the fact that I know David Morrell can box more, you know what I mean? He can box and he can punch, you know. Now, looking at the one fight that we saw from both of these guys at 175 pounds, both of these guys were highly favored. You can look at betting odds, you can look at predictions. Most people thought that these two fighters were going to stop their previous opponents, and that didn't happen. So, that's giving me kind of sort of like the knockout may not be a possibility. Like me personally, I put money on David Morrell to stop his last opponent, and I was shocked when it didn't happen. You know what I mean? But now looking back at it, it's like that kind of was a little expected, but I was still nonetheless shocked that it didn't happen. So with all that being said, I think Morrell can outbox Benavidez. I think it's going to be close. I think we may see Benavidez get knocked down once. I think it'll be like a flash knockdown. You know what I mean? But I think that Morrell will be able to outbox Benavidez to a 115, 112 type decision. You know what I mean? 116, 111. You know what I mean? Type decision. And I do believe that Morrell and Benavidez around the same like dimensions, height and reach. So I think that's always going to be a different territory for Benavidez, you know what I mean, and Morrell. But I think more so for Benavidez because he's just used to straight up walking down his opponents and crushing them. So with all that being said, I think Morrell can outpoint Benavidez, hey, I think that I think Morrell may have a advantage in terms of sparring. You know what I mean? Sparring and trainers. That's my honest opinion about it. And I will be betting David Morrell by decision. You know what I mean? Because that's what I believe that's going to happen. A fighter to be knocked down. I think David Benavidez may get knocked down. You know what I mean? For all y'all that are betting. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's my honest opinion about this fight. You guys let me know yours. It's been my breakdown, Rackz. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.